Hello everyone and welcome again to Gaming Without Tears, and this is going to be the part 3 of the tutorial of the campaign in Heroic Magic Duel. So we're going to talk about equipment today. And equipment is something that you can equip on your hero, and each of the heroes have got different ones, and each equipment has got different stats, but there are also different types. So there are 6 different types of equipment, 2 for hands, 1 for the head, 1 for the chest, 1 for the waist, and 1 for the feet. And like I've mentioned before, they come in different shapes and styles, so you get common, rare, legendary, mythic, you get different stars. But the important thing over here right now is going to be you always get 4 stats, and you've got a primary stat which is always going to be visible and will always keep going up as you upgrade your equipment, and then you get 3 secondary stats. So the thing that you need to do is just go and hit Google or your other browser or search provider and Google the Citadel of Knowledge for Heroic Magic Duel, and we're looking for part 5, which is equipment and artifacts. I will provide a link in the description to this video as well. Now it's got a table, and I strongly recommend that you bookmark it because you're going to be using it very often, or at least you should. So what it does, it shows you what in those green boxes or cells of the table, which are the primary stats for each of these 6 equipments. But so it's Minion Power for main hand, it's Minion Ability for the offhand, and Spell Power for head, and so on and so forth, right? But you also get, remember, those 3 secondary stats, and those X's in the cells will show you what the other 3 stats on your equipment potentially you might get. So main will always get power, and what we're going to try to get on this one is power, ability, and siege. So siege damage, minion ability, minion power are the 3 primary stats that we're going to focus on. And chest is the best one because chest is the only piece of equipment that can give us all 3 of those. So it can give us minion power, minion ability, and siege damage. Now they are all secondary stats. The primary stat is portal health, so chest is the most difficult one to upgrade to this desired stats. So let's see, we've got about 20-25 pieces of equipment over here. Let's see if we're going to get lucky and whether we're going to be able to get off all 3 of them. So we got Minion Ability as the first one, so that's a good start. So let's just keep going and see what happens. Now you see, you've got your chance of success over there. Now, the higher the level, the lower the chance. Okay, so our secondary stat over here is portal regen, which is not what we want. So we're just going to move to the next one. We're not even going to try to waste any more dust on it. Okay, we've got Minion Ability, let's keep trying. Now you see, as we going up, the cost goes up, but also the chances of our success go down. Oh, that was perfect. It's not going to happen that often that you will get all 3 of them on a second piece of equipment. It's probably actually the first time it ever happened to me that I got all 3 of them that quickly. And it might be as well that on the lower levels it's going to be easier. Now Magic Find is another stat that you need to look out for. It's not going to help you in the spider event, but it's the one that is worth having in the campaign because it will give you better rewards from the campaign. So power, ability, and siege are the 3 that you always look out for because they'll help you both in the campaign and in the spider event, but you also might want to keep an eye on the Magic Find, especially when you're farming in the campaign. Okay, so let's go back to the first one, to the main hand. So you can see that Minion Power is the primary stat. We cannot get Minion Ability, so we're going to just trying to get the siege damage. Okay, so I've got 1 2-star equipment, which is a reward from one of the levels from the first book, first chapter. And like I said, it gives me the Minion Power. Portal region is the second one, and that was really lucky that I got the siege damage as the second secondary stuff, because I really wanted to keep this 2-star equipment for the time being. It is the only 2-star equipment that I have already, so that was a good result. And again, I'm going to sell everything that I'm not using. Okay, so now for my second hand, I've got 2 blue or rare equipments. None of them have got as my first secondary start the one that I'm looking for. You can see the difference between the blue and the grey ones as well, is that on the blue ones I can see straight away what this first secondary stat is. I can't see them on the grey ones without upgrading. And obviously on the purple ones you're going to see the first 2 straight away, and on the gold ones you will see the first all the stats straight away without upgrading. Right, so we've got ability as the primary one. We don't have power, but we can get siege. Okay, so let's see if we're lucky enough to get siege on one of my blue ones. You see as well the magic finds just went from 2% to 4% on this one. Okay, so this is health. I'll see if I can get siege on the other one first, because as you can see the chances of success go down, the cost goes up. So let's see if I can get it here. Now going back to this change in the magic find, as you saw it went up. So this is the other difference between the grey ones and the more fantastic, we've got siege, and the more rare ones, that the rarer the equipment is, the higher your secondary stats will go as well. So it's better to have rarer one than the common one if it has the same amount of stars, but bear in mind that if you've got a choice between a common 2-star and a, I don't know, a legendary 3-star, sorry, a legendary 1-star, you will go for the higher star count usually. Now you can see both of them have got siege damage. I just went and upgraded the second one regardless, because do have quite a lot of dust, and I just wanted to see if the second one is going to be better. Okay, head. So spell power is the primary one. I cannot get siege, but I can get minion ability and minion power as a secondary stat. So this one is going to be potentially a little bit trickier. So I've got ability on this one already, which is great. I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can get the minion power here as well. Okay, so let's see. No, so unfortunately we didn't get it. So we can still get it as the third one. And now the chances on both of them are the same, that I will get both of them, because one of those, well, both of those 2 can be the 2 that I'm looking for, and then on this one the third start could be the one that I'm looking for. So I'll just go and upgrade all of it and see what happens. That was unlucky. Now I still have got this magic coin, so I'll keep this one regardless, because it will help me in the campaign, but it's no good for the spider event, unfortunately, without the siege, without the power. Okay, so we've got minion power. Let's see if I can get minion ability as the third one. Perfect, fantastic. Now bear in mind what I said before. If I didn't get those 2 stats on any of the blue ones, I would go ahead and upgrade the common ones, and if I got the 2 stats on the common ones, I would have kept the common one, not the blue one, just because it gives me both of those stats together. Okay, chest we've got. Let's go to the waste equipment. So on the waste I cannot get Minion Power. Siege is as default, but we can get Minion Ability as the secondary start. So let's go ahead and see if we can get it. So it's not on this one. I do have Magic Find over here, which was useful enough at the beginning, but let's see if we can do better. And like I said, you know, at the beginning the cost is relatively low, so what I'm going to do, rather than upgrading all 3 stats to see if I can get what I'm looking for, I will just upgrade the first one, and there we go. We got Minion Ability as the first secondary start at low cost on the second equipment, so the risk and the cost was relatively low. And now that I know I'm going to keep this one, I'll just keep upgrading it, increase that siege damage. Okay, looks like we've got a bit of connectivity issues here on internet, but that hopefully will not last that very long. So yeah, so the cost of getting to making sure that I've got the stat that I'm looking for was relatively low. And now that I know that I get it, I've upgraded it all the way through, increased that siege damage. Whatever I get as my 2 secondary stats, it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to sell everything that I'm not using now. Okay, and now finally for the last piece of equipment. The primary stat is Portal region, which is quite useless, but we can get Siege. We cannot get Minion Ability, but we can get Minion Power. So Minion Power and Siege damage are the 2 secondary stats that we're going to look out for. Now, the first stat that I got wasn't any of the 2 that I was looking for, so I'm just going to skip it and move to the next one. Again, portal health, this is not what I'm looking for. Let's just keep going to the next one. Okay, Minion Power, so this is encouraging, so hopefully, let's see if we can get siege damage as the secondary stat. No. So instead of upgrading the third one for 2400 dust, and then plus some to get to the level 7, I'll see if I can get it cheaper elsewhere. Now I've got sufficient amount of dust from farming to just keep going, and hopefully it's not going to take us long to get to what we're looking for. So Minion Power is great, portal health is not, well, it's helpful, but it's not what we're looking for, so we're just going to go and move to the next one. And again, just let's move to the next one. So there's one more thing that I'm going to mention over here. So, well, two things really. So one is, this is really, even though it's tedious, and it looks like on the last piece of equipment that we're trying to upgrade, we're not getting as much luck as we got in the first 5. It just shows you, it's probably the best one to show you, just so that you understand the process of how you're going to keep upgrading your equipment to limit the amount of dust you're going to invest in it. And at the beginning it doesn't cost that much, but once you get to those 3-star equipments, it gets quite costly. So what we're doing, remember, is just keep upgrading those first 1 or first 2, depending whether you're hunting just for 1 or 2 of them, and if you're not getting what you're looking for, you just move to the next piece of equipment, because this way you keep your risk and your cost down. Let's see what will happen. No, unfortunately. So the other thing is as well, usually what I would do is, the moment that I know that I'm not getting what I'm looking for, I would sell that equipment straight away without, you know, holding onto it and I think, you know, actually I might use it at some point in the future, because they're relatively easy to get from farming. You know you're not going to keep them, so just go ahead and sell them, but I was hoping this one would work. But you know, whether you sell them straight away or you first find what you're looking for and then sell everything else, the result is probably the same. So in this instance I'll just keep upgrading until I get what I'm looking for, and then I'm going to sell everything at the end. Okay, let's see if we are luckier this time. Oh, come on. No, unfortunately. And the funny thing is as well, when you look at those chances to succeed, when it tells you your chances to succeed are high or are very high, and sometimes you need to click this level up button 3 or 4 or 5 times, and it fails every single time, time after time after time after time. It could be quite frustrating, but this is where this farming comes so useful, because once you've got enough dust, you don't really worry about it. Now we've got enough equipment and enough dust to find what we're looking for in one session. And the whole process is probably going to take about 10 minutes, but then you've got the set that you're going to stick with for a while until we get better equipment. Ah, finally, we've got both siege damage and minion power on the same one, so let's just upgrade this one all the way through. And we got move speed, which is, yeah, it's not great, it's also not bad. Okay, so like I said, now let's go ahead and sell everything that we're not keeping. Okay, so we definitely have got much less dust now that we started with, but the purpose of farming was to, you know, to get a set that we're going to use. So, okay, I'm keeping this one because it's got siege damage, so this one is fine. We've got 80 power, 8 ability, really low, and 150 siege, which, well, okay, on 1-star equipment is not terrible, but you know, oh, I did not want to click on this one. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to just show you the stats that I've got without upgrading the equipment to the better set, and what the difference is once we upgrade the equipment that we just leveled up. But let's just go ahead and finish this level quickly. So I was actually not planning to get to this one yet, because what I was going to do is do some farming, upgrade the equipment, put them on, and then I was going to just go through all the levels in this chapter to start off the tutorials for the campaign for you. But okay, we might as well, since we've attacked this level, just go ahead, get some rewards. Okay, so let's try again now. So now we're going to upgrade the better equipment, and remember on the offhand, both of them had the stat that we're looking for. Now this one does have the magic find, but this one has got power and ability, so we're going to keep that one. Okay, this one has got all 3, and this is straightforward. Okay, so now we got 150 power, much better minion ability, and much better siege damage. Before, remember, we had only 150, and since we've went through that level before accidentally, now we might just as well just try it again to see if there's going to be a much difference. And I don't expect it to be the difference to be that visible, because I'm not using any minions that rely on minion ability. So the fact that we went from 8% to 150, I think it was ish, percent on the equipment, that's not specifically helping us here. the siege damage did go up very high, because it went from, I think it was from 150 to 240%, and so that gives you much bigger damage to the portal, and we did see this fight was a bit quicker than the previous one. So in essence, this is everything you need to know about upgrading your equipment. So remember, use that table on that site. Make sure that you target the three most important stats, so power, ability and siege damage. Just very quickly, let me show you. So you see you've got 473 damage and 2610 health with those stats on. If I was to choose the same minion without any stats, you can see how much lower they are, and this is because of this 152% increase to your power. And then on top of that, what you don't see when you click on the minion, but what you will get, is additional 240% increase to the damage to the portal itself. So yeah, those three stats: siege damage, minion power, minion ability. Make sure you get all the ones that you can get on a specific equipment. Use that table. Make sure that you don't upgrade your equipment all the way through just to find this one stat you're looking for. Make sure you've got enough dust and equipment to upgrade just through the first stat, because this way you're going to keep your costs down, and that's probably all you need to know. And I do realize it's the first book and the first chapter, but you're going to use exactly the same principles all the way through until you get to end of the campaign. Okay, well, I hope that helps, and see you around, and good luck. Thanks for watching.